How many times in what you're trying to accomplish every day and what you do has that door just closed on you? It's been a barrier, and you stand there and you say, what in the world just happened? Well, that's why here on the 3-1 group, we're here for you. We on the 3-1 group are an intersection of decades of experience in sales, media and marketing, and content creation. And that's why we come together. I'm Dave Shore, Kevin Kolbe, Mike Morgan are here as well. And we're here to talk about those barriers to success that get in the way and how to overcome them. And each time, sometimes we bring a topic that is really passionate to us. Mm-hmm. This one, Mike Morgan's got all 5 of them right there, Mike.
Yeah. So look, the barriers to success are common across, all industries, all pursuits of, accomplishment, whether it's in your personal or professional life. And they're really simple. It's a framework to understand. And as you understand the framework of the barriers, you can make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to clear those barriers out of your way. And the more you clear them out of your way, one by one, the closer and closer to ultimate success and personal excellence you're going to get. The barriers are very simple. The very first one is your mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, an achievement-oriented view of the possible, can-do, positive mindset, you're doomed from the start. So, the first barrier to your success in anything is simply the mindset that you bring to the table when you get started on whatever journey you're starting. So mindset's number 1. Number 2 is your skill set. Anything that you want to accomplish in life, personally or professionally, requires an ever-evolving and improving set of skills. So whatever your pursuit is, you've got to understand the skill sets that are required for success, and then you've got to develop mastery against those skill sets to give yourself an opportunity to become the best that you could possibly be in pursuit of your personal excellence. The third barrier is action or activity. If you've got the right mindset and you've developed high-level skill sets, that would lead you to success in your pursuit, the next barrier to your success is simply your activity. How often and how diligently are you pursuing doing the things that need to be done to inch you along the path to your ultimate accomplishment? So you got mindset, you've got to develop mastery at the skill sets, and then you've got to implement the things that you've developed, the skills that you've developed. And the fourth barrier is that implementation has to be done consistently. Without consistency, there is no accomplishment. We talked a lot about momentum, getting momentum, keeping momentum. That's that barrier of consistency. No matter how great your mindset, how good your skill set, and what you're doing from an action standpoint, if you're not doing it consistently, you're not going to find the results or the outcomes that you're looking for, and you certainly won't be in pursuit of or ever achieving personal excellence. And then the fifth barrier is what I call something extra. In a sea of same, if you're in sales or if you're in operations or if you're an entrepreneur, in the sea of sameness, where there are 1,000 people or 10,000 or 50 people all trying to do what you're trying to accomplish, what is that something extra that you're doing that helps you stand apart? Because you've got to differentiate yourself in a sea of sameness. You've got to kind of break out from the crowd and get attention in what's become a very crowded world if you ever want to achieve the ultimate success or that ultimate level of personal excellence. So the steps, the barriers that we've got to overcome are really simple to understand. It's your mindset, it's your skill set, it's taking action consistently, and then bringing something extra to the table. Those are, if you can understand the framework of those being the barriers and can understand that you got to chip away at knocking down those barriers one by one by one. And when you do that, you're getting closer and closer to your own, area of personal excellence. I think it's something that, that's available and accessible to everyone. And it's a real specific formula that applies universally, no matter what you're trying to accomplish. So, with that, Dave and Kevin, love to hear your thoughts on, kind of your experiences around some of those areas.
I may have missed some of that. I was taking notes. That is phenomenal. The one that struck me was the first one is that, I used to have this thing with my team is that if you ever came in, and I think it has to do with confidence, not arrogance. There's a difference. But if you ever came in to pitch an idea or a script, the worst thing to say to me is, I got an idea, but it's not really good. Because I would have people say that. And it's like, well, then why would you want to waste my time?
Right.
You believe in your idea, even if it's half-baked, even if you're not really sure where it goes. It's like, hey, I got this idea or I've got this script. Can I get your feedback? Because if you don't feel good about it, I'm not going to, because now you've got to win yourself and me over. So that's the one that really popped to me.
That's amazing. You know what? And it's funny because I thought all 5 of those, Mike, were just great. But I went to the very same one, the mindset as well, because I immediately thought years ago, I was doing a private event with the former great college football coach, Lou Holtz, who's one of the great motivational speakers of all time. And I didn't have a big job. I just helped him in the autograph signing as he signed every book to someone at the company that he was speaking to. But one of the stories that he gave is after his Notre Dame success, he was hired as the head coach at South Carolina to turn around that South Carolina team. And at the very beginning of the season, when all the boosters got together, just like they would do at Notre Dame, they'd have a banquet to talk about that 0-0 record they had right now and what they were going to do this year. He said, Dave, I gave him one of the greatest speeches, how we were going to go out and we were going to win it all. We were going to win the title. And he said at Notre Dame, the boosters would stand up and all cheer and they would just go crazy. He said that night at South Carolina, no one clapped. And he said, I realized that the mindset was, we've never thought that big.
Right.
Wow. And it just consistently stayed with me that if you're not even thinking that you could succeed at some point or what level you could succeed at, what a horrible barrier that would be over time.
It's the mindset, again, that's the very first barrier. If you've got all of the other pieces in place, but you show up every day or every other day with a bad attitude and a can't do attitude, you're going to sabotage your own success. And, if I look back on a lot of my own personal successes, whether it was individually or, as a leader of a team, it was setting a vision and, a vision that most people would consider to be a ridiculous vision, and then accomplishing that. And I'll give you a quick example of that. I spent 5 years coaching rugby at Duke University, and when I took over the program, my first season there, they had just come off a horrible season. The season before, they'd lost some in a pretty big way. I think they'd lost almost every game. And when I looked around the room and kind of got a feel for the talent, I said, guys, we're gonna win a national championship this year. And I went home and I was excited, and I told my wife, we're gonna win a national championship this year. I just know it. She said, yeah, honey, why don't you just worry about winning the first game? That would be a good accomplishment. I'm like, yeah, okay, we got that. I'm gonna do that. And we lost the national championship that year.
Wow.
And that was off the back of a team that and that's not, and it wasn't due to my unbelievable skill as a coach. I think it started with I'd been to a couple of national championships coaching rugby teams. I looked around at the talent that we had. There was no reason we couldn't take the talent that we had and get there. And I just set that as the vision. That's my expectation. And I talked about it so often, the kids started believing it. And we got a few wins under our belt. And, that mindset is a miracle. It can create some miracles. So, I agree, Dave. The getting the mindset is the first step. But, again, in that formula, nothing happens with all 5 of those barriers being taken down. So
yeah, we need to assign homework that everybody watches Hoosiers after this.
That's right.
It's that great mindset. You got to believe something, or you're just not going to do anything.
Yeah, or you'll never be able to run the picket fence either as a basketball player.
That's right.
If you watch that movie, that's a famous one. Guys, I have a sneaky suspicion, and Mike, you did a great job laying those out.
Yeah.
But what we like to do here is keep topics going, because some of these things you can go back to over time. And so for you, if you're watching this now, if one of these really hits home, or you got a question or a comment about, make sure you write it down below, because I have a sneaky suspicion that at some point we'll come back to each of these 5 on how important they are overall as well. So please do that. We'd love to see reactions from you, because we have the background in sales, marketing, media, content creation. but you have the goals. You have the questions. We want to see that. And please, we have a number of topics that we've gotten into. You can see how fun we have doing this as well. Please check out catch-ups on some of the ones that we've already had. Subscribe to our channel, the 3-1 Group, down below. Mike Morgan, he carried us on this one. And Kevin Kolbe, thanks for joining me, guys. I'm Dave Shore, and thanks for joining us on the 3-1 Group.